Yo, what's going on guys? Evan Tanaka here, back with another video. In today's video, we have another episode of the series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. In these episodes, what I do is rate your team 1 through 10. Could be a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, or a 10. And I also give you guys my best suggestions on what players to add to your squad and what players I think you guys should remove from your squad. If you guys want to be in a future episode, send me your team on Twitter at EvanTanaka10 and you could be featured in the next video. Before we get into the episode, if you guys are new here, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe down below. I post 3 to 4 My Team videos every single day and give you guys some of the best My Team content on the platform. So further ado, let's get on to the video. The first team comes in from JT. He's got John Moran at the 1, Ray Allen at the 2, Vince Carter at the 3, D-Rob at the 4, and Shaq at the 5. Off the bench, he's got De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Lowry, Gallinari, Chris Webber, and Ralph Sampson. He says he's on next gen Xbox and he has 75,000 MT. 75k isn't the most amount of MT to work with, and I would say for your team overall, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Kyle Lowry at the backup 2 and Gallinari are going to be the 2 players I look to upgrade first. For the backup shooting guard position, I would recommend you pick up RJ Barrett for around 10,000 MT. For the backup small forward position, I would go with a guy like Ben Wallace for only another 10,000 MT. So you can spend 20,000 MT and make 2 massive upgrades over Kyle Lowry and Gallinari. Other than that though, I like John Morant, I like D-Rob. Shaq I'm not the biggest fan of, but if you like Shaq, he's a really good center. Vince Carter's really good as well. I like De'Aaron Fox, I like Ralph Sampson, I like Chris Webber. So honestly, I think those are the only suggestions you really have to use. If you want to, you can maybe replace De'Aaron Fox or Chris Webber. For Chris Webber, you could go Tim Duncan or Bull. And for De'Aaron Fox, you can maybe go with a Dwayne Wade, a Cade Cunningham, Oscar Robinson, or Manu Ginobili. But I would definitely improve Kyle Lowry and Gallinari first and use those 2 suggestions of RJ Barrett and Ben Wallace. Looking at the next team here from Trey, he says he's on next gen and has 470,000 MT. He's got Jordan, Vince Carter, Jeremy Grant, David Robinson, and Dikembe Mutombo as his starting lineup. He's got Oscar Robinson, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Davis, Thurl Bailey, and Patrick Ewing off the bench. This is a very good squad, one of the best teams you can make in my team right now. I'm gonna give this squad a 9 out of 10. It is very close to a 9.5. Probably if you want to be specific rating, it's maybe a 9.2. I think there's a couple players you could upgrade. For example, the first guy I would try to upgrade is going to be Jeremy Grant. Especially you have 470,000 MT and you play on next gen. Zion is only around 200,000 MT. He's about 200 to 250k. I think he's a massive upgrade over a guy like Jeremy Grant. And then off the bench, I personally like Dwayne Wade more than a guy like Oscar Robinson, but if you like Big O, then you can definitely run him over D Wade. I would maybe look to upgrade Anthony Davis or Jaylen Brown, but if you like the 2 cards, they are very good small forwards and shooting guards. But the one suggestion I would definitely make is going to be the starting small forward and pick up a guy like Zion Williamson. Next team here is going to come in from Aaron. He says he has PS5 next gen 460k MT in the bank. I don't play unlimited I mainly play TTO and clutch time. The bench is there for offline games. Starting lineup suggestions would be great, and any cheap budget options that would help me if I wanted to start playing unlimited. So we mainly want to upgrade the starting lineup, the bench, maybe touch a little bit with some budget guys that I can already see who I want to touch off the bench. But for the starting lineup, I guess I'll just rate your starting lineup because that's what you like to play with in clutch time and TTO. Your starting lineup is probably a 9 out of 10. Obviously, Luka's really good. D-Rob's really good. I like Vince, I like Ben Wallace, and I like Tim Duncan. Honestly, there's no one I'd really touch in your starting lineup, to be honest. 460,000 MT, if you want to get a Zion Williamson over Ben Wallace, you definitely could. If you want to maybe upgrade your shooting guard, maybe lock in for a Mullen, but I just don't really think that's necessary. Like, I think your starting lineup with your MT and what you do, like you just want to play clutch time, I really don't think you need to make any upgrades at all. I would just mainly work on the bench. And for that backup point guard position, a cheap guy to get would be like a Dwayne Wade, a Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili is around 40,000 MT. Dwayne Wade's around 50,000 MT, and they're a lot better than John Wall in my opinion. I like RJ Barrett. I like Jeremy Grant. Maybe it would improve Sean Kemp to a Tim Duncan, which you already have. So I'd go Bull. Or Josh Smith. So I'd say for the backup 4, you either get Josh Smith or Bull. For the backup point guard, I would get Dwayne Wade or Manu Ginobili. And then, like I said, starting lineup, I'm not going to touch. Starting lineup, like I said, 9 out of 10 if you want the rating for your bench. Your bench should probably be like an 8 out of 10 as well. Next team here comes in from Spicy. He says he's on current gen. He's got 900,000 MT. grinding clutch time right now. So he's going for the James Worthy, he's going for the Albert King, which I definitely would recommend. Those are two very top tier dark matters in the game right now. But you got John Morant, Vince Carter, Jeremy Grant, Chris Webber, Ralph Sampson, and then off the bench you got a very similar squad to the last guy. You got John Wall, Ray Allen, Jason Tatum, Pascal Siakam, and Yao Ming. Overall, I'm gonna give this team a 7.5 out of 10. I do think your bench really isn't the best. I like what you're doing at the starting lineup. I do think you got a lot of good players in the starting lineup, but to me that bench just really isn't the best. And especially with 900,000 MT, you have a bunch of players you can upgrade. I'm mainly just going to focus on the bench. Backup point guard, just like I suggested for the last person. I think Oscar Robinson, Manu Ginobili, Dwayne Wade, Cade Cunningham are 4 really good point guards that are under 50,000 MT. They're going to be way better than a guy like John Wall. For the backup 2, I like Ray Allen for a free card. You can definitely keep him. For the backup 3, you are going to go after James Worthy, so I'm just going to count that as James Worthy. For the backup power forward position, I think you need to have either at least Tim Duncan or Bol Bol or Josh Smith as a super budget card. And then off the bench, backup center, I like that you have the Ralph Sampson and the Yao Ming. I'm assuming you like taller centers, so I'm going to let you keep Yao Ming and Ralph Sampson because I'm assuming you like the taller giants that can rebound and play some really good defense and just mash on the offensive end. So for your team, I would just replace John Wall with, I would go Dwayne Wade. For the backup small forward position, get that James Worthy. And then for the backup power forward position, I would recommend get either Tim Duncan or Bol Bol. For the next squad coming in from Quinn, he's on current gen and has about 1.2 million MT. He's got Oscar, Vince Carter, Rudy Gay, Danny Ferry, and David Robinson as a starting lineup. Off the bench, he's got D Wade, Ben Wallace, Jeremy Grant, Eddie Curry, and Ralph Sampson. For the rating out of 10, I do think this is a very solid squad. I don't think it's anything higher than 9, so I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10. It's a very solid team, nothing crazy, but it's not a bad team necessarily. It's a really good, solid team. I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10. If I had to give suggestions, there's probably only one card in here that I'm thinking probably shouldn't play, and that's going to be Eddie Curry. I do think Eddie Curry is a good center for budget teams, but I do think you could replace him and get a guy like Tim Duncan or a guy like Bol Bol. Even if you want to go cheap, you can go with the Josh Smith. And if you are grinding unlimited, you should definitely add that Bob Nedelecki card in for Danny Ferry, and then move Danny Ferry to the backup power forward position. I would say as well, I would move Jeremy Grant to the small forward position and then replace Jeremy Grant with Ben Wallace. That's personally what I would do. So your bench would be D Wade, Jaylen Brown, Ben Wallace, let's say a guy like Tim Duncan, and then you'd have Ralph Sampson off the bench. I think your starting lineup is good enough. I'm not going to touch your starting lineup, but for your bench, I would move Ben Wallace to the 3, get rid of Jeremy Grant, and put Jaylen Brown at the backup 2. I think it's going to give you a bit more give you a bit more defense off the bench, which is definitely going to help you if you have a guy like D Wade, who's a little bit undersized, but I think having that extra defense with Jaylen Brown is definitely going to help you off the bench. Next team here is going to come in from Irving, and he says he's on current gen and has around 100,000 MT. He's got D Wade, Vince Carter, Giannis, David Robinson, and Patrick Ewing. He's got Cade Cunningham, Klay Thompson, Scottie Pippen, Anthony Davis, and Hakeem. I think this is a very good team. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10. There's probably 2 players I would recommend upgrading. The first one is going to be Anthony Davis. I think at this point in the year, he's a little bit outdated. When he came out, he was the best power forward in the game. But right now, I do think he's a little bit outdated just because of the fact that we have so many good power forwards in the game right now. I know I'm recommending the same power forwards over and over again, but those are just the best budget power forwards in my opinion. Either going to be Bol Bol or Tim Duncan or Josh Smith. Any of those 3 guys, maybe even a Danny Ferry, are really good budget cards that you guys can definitely add to your squads. So yes, I know I'm recommending some of the same players for power forward, but those are just the best guys for a lot of people's price range. If you're on current gen, I would probably go with Bol Bol. If you're on current, if you're on next gen, maybe go with a Tim Duncan. That's just me personally. That's the first upgrade I would make. This second one, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I do think Cade Cunningham, I like a guy like Manu or Big O better, but that's just me personally. If you like Cade a lot, Cade is obviously really good, but definitely a good squad. 9 out of 10. Definitely upgrade Anthony Davis and maybe upgrade a guy like Cade. Next team here is going to come in from Edwin. He's got 500,000 MT. Also, I want to know when to sell random players I don't use. After I sell them, I can get to 700 to 800,000 MT. He's got Chauncey Billups, Vince Carter, Ben Wallace, Jeremy Grant, and Shaq. Off the bench, he's got John Morant, Evan Mobley, Ray Allen, Eddie Curry, and Ralph Sampson. The team's solid. I would say there's a couple players out of position. I'm gonna give this squad a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. Yeah, probably an 8 out of 10. It's a decent team overall. I just think Jeremy Grant at the 4 is not the best. I I think Ray Allen should be playing the 3, not the small forward position. So the first suggestion I would say is get rid of Evan Mobley, put Ray Allen to the backup 2, and then for your backup small forward position, either choose between either choose between Rudy Gay or Scottie Pippen for your backup 3. They're both around 30,000 MT. I think Rudy Gay is like 25k, Scottie Pippen might be 30,000. So both way in your price range. And then for the backup 4, like I said, I'm going to suggest the same people: Tim Duncan, Bol, Josh Smith for your 2 power forwards. Whether you want to go Tim Duncan starting, Bol off the bench, whether you want to go Bol and Josh Smith, whether you want to go Bol or Tim Duncan, I think you should replace your 2 power forwards with 2 out of 3 of those power forwards being Josh Smith, Tim Duncan, and Bol. I do like Ralph Sampson and Shaq. Not the biggest fan of Shaq, like I said earlier in the video, but if you do like Shaq, I think he can be a very good center. And then I do like Ralph Sampson, especially as a free card. I like the Ben Wallace and the Chauncey Billups duo, and obviously I like Vince Carter. He's really good as a free card. So replace the shooting guard, I would move Ray Allen to the 2, pick up either Rudy Gay or Scottie Pippen for the backup 3, and then replace Jeremy Grant and Eddie Curry with, in my opinion, Tim Duncan and Bol. Next team here comes in from MJ Castro. He's on current gen and has 550k MT available. He's got Zach LaVine at the point guard position, Chris Malone at the 2, Jeremy Grant at the 3, Blake Griffin at the 4, and Dikembe Mutombo at the 5. Off the bench, he's got Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace duo, Cincinnati's pal Josh Smith, and Hakeem Olajuwon, as well as having Gary Payton, Karl Anthony Towns, and Karl Malone. I definitely think Karl Malone should be playing. I think he's better than Josh Smith by a lot, unless you want to use Chris Malone, or you don't want to use Karl Malone for different reasons. But if we're just talking about like in the game and gameplay, I do think Karl Malone is the second best power forward in the game. I would start him over Blake Griffin and then have Blake Griffin come off the bench. That's what I do personally. But for your rating out of 10, I'm gonna give this squad another 9. It's probably more like a 9.1, 9.2 out of 10. I don't think I can give it a 9.5. Couple players I would recommend upgrading is also going to be the Chauncey Billups. I know he has a good duo with Ben Wallace, but you have 550,000 MT. I think you can get a guy like Dwayne Wade. You could go after Luka if you really wanted to, but even a D Wade or a Manu Ginobili is what I'd recommend over Chauncey Billups. Powell, not the biggest fan of Cincinnati's Powell either. I would go Rudy Gay, Scottie Pippen, and then you could even move Ben Wallace to the 3 and then pick up like a Jaylen Brown. Yeah, that's what I'm actually going to recommend you do for your backup. Your bench positions, I would move Ben Wallace to the backup 3 and then pick up a guy like Jaylen Brown for the backup 2. And then for the starting small forward, I like Jeremy Grant. I like Scottie Pippen or Rudy Gay better in my opinion, but they do cost more MT. So if you want to use a free card, I do think Jeremy Grant is good. So your starting lineup would be Zach LaVine, Chris Mullin, Jeremy Grant, Karl Malone, and Dikembe Mutombo. Your bench would look something like, let's say, Dwayne Wade, Jaylen Brown, Ben Wallace, Blake Griffin, and Hakeem Olajuwon. In my opinion, that team would be a 9.5 out of 10. That's gonna do it for the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to be featured in the next video of I rate and improve your guys' teams, send me your team on Twitter at EvansTanaka10 and you could be featured in the next video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.